Alright guys, so as always, for all those people out there that always ask me, hey Chris, hey kid, do you watch Ben 10? Like, how come we don't see you do like weekly reviews and stuff on that show? Well, usually guys, I don't do that. I usually just do an overall review of the season. And since Ultimate Alien ended today, and they'll go ready, and next fall they'll begin a new season called Ben 10 Omniverse. I'm here to basically give my review of season 2 of the last season of Ultimate Alien, the series finale in a way. So you're gonna sit back and listen to me for depending how long I want to talk about it. So Ultimate Alien to me was a decent follow-up to Alien Force. It was a decent follow-up. The first season was pretty much really good, with basically, Ben kind of really getting into his fame and fortune. There were some people that loved it and some people that did not like it because he revealed himself to the world and things like that. Kinda. And we also saw like there was a character in here who was like J. Jonah Jameson from the Spider-Man universe that pretty much didn't like him. But the second season is really what I'm here to talk about. Okay. And the second season to me featured more self-contained stories rather than employing an overall storyline. In other words, a lot of filler episodes, in my opinion. And that was my biggest problem with this season. Although kind of at the end of the season, a real storyline kind of started to develop with, with the appearance of Sir George and the extraterrestrial demon known as Dagon. There were a lot of interesting episodes in this season, but like I said, it felt more like season 2 felt too much like it was more filler episodes, and I don't like shows like that concentrate more on filler episodes and things like that. But I must admit, there were some episodes that I really enjoyed. I noticed that you can see in this season they were pretty much trying to wrap up some loose ends in this season. For example, a lot of characters that we saw in some of the previous seasons, like Dark Star, they tried to wrap them up pretty much. I did like that episode when him and Charmcaster got together. That was pretty fun. And when it seemed like Charmcaster was gonna be kind of like when Charmcaster was gonna be kind of like a hero in a way, they went back to having. It's almost like they retconned her and went back to being she was bad, and she was like Gwen's rival. Because especially when she started liking Darkstar, and when Darkstar found out that he was at one time was with Gwen, she just blew a gasket. She was like, you take everything away from me, Gwen Tennyson. It was kind of interesting. At any episode, there was a couple episodes that I did like I said, when Ben 10,000 came back, his future self, that was fun. When the episode I'm trying to remember another episode that I really enjoyed. When they went to basic training to in the plumber academy. That was fun. But like I said, later on we started to see, like, they really started to get kind of more into the Forever Knights later, really late in the season, and that kind of was like, you know, man, like, come on, like, now y'all doing a real storyline, you know. And then when it looked like they were going to continue with that, they went back to more filler episodes. You know, it kind of bothered me a little bit with that. You know, it also, you know, we also got to see more of the how Ben's world kind of plagued his girlfriend Julie. Like, she couldn't really deal with, you know, him doing this and them trying to be together and stuff like that. So that kind of played a lot. But like I said, the episode called "The Enemy of My Frenemy," where Gwen and the gang set out to rescue Charmcaster. In that episode, it really made it like Charmcaster was going to become a good guy. They started to plague up, like, some of the aliens, especially his ultimate forms. Ben's didn't want to be a part of the Ultimatrix, and that also played another part in it. It kind of really started to plague a little bit. And then when they brought Vilgax back in, it was like, in a way, it was like, I know Vilgax is supposed to be Ben's ultimate enemy and things like that, but it was like, almost like, if y'all didn't want him to, if y'all, in the last Ben 10 Alien Force, y'all had it like Ben and Vilgax had their final battle, and Vilgax came out the loser in that. But the way they did it in the end of the season, the season finale called "The Ultimate Enemy" was really good. I have to admit, they really did a good job of ending it in a way. But like I said, you know, overall the season was very entertaining. I'm not trying to diss it, but it was entertaining. But I found myself more intrigued with Generator Rex over Ben 10, and you know, that was something that I can say, and I can't wait till Rex comes back there. But yeah, I gotta admit, the last episode was really good that aired today. It was dedicated to Dwayne McDuffie, who was one of the writers on Ben 10. So, you know, they did dedicate the episode to him, which was really good. It was very fun to see, like, some of the ultimate forms that Ben did in this in the last episode was really good. For example, he became Ultimate Way Big, which he's never done before, so it was actually cool to see him. And Ultimate Way Big looked a lot like Ultraman to me. It was really funny. When he did defeat Vilgax, it was really interesting because Vilgax really started to play up the fact that Ben 10 had all this power and he can do anything he wants with it. And we all know sometimes, you know, power does corrupt people. And if it wasn't for Ben's, you know, the gang and of course his girlfriend Julie, you know, he kind of almost did it. So that kind of gave a little bit of character to more character in Ben that I really enjoyed. And that was when Azmuth came and Ben gave back the sword of Azmuth, back to the creator of the sword. That was the sword that Ben was carrying in the last episode, for those who didn't see it. And then there was Azmuth who told Ben to give up the Ultra Matrix, and because that was a farce of a prototype, and we saw Azmuth gives Ben at the end a truly completed Omnitrix. But Azmuth said he won't get the Master Control until he's 18 years old, because he's still like 16 at the end of this season. But like I said, it was overall, like I said, I was fairly impressed, entertained by this season. But I do admit, season 2 had too many. They say they'll call it self-contained stories, but to me that's just an excuse of saying filler episodes with no main storyline. That was something I didn't like at all. And you knew they were doing, because they were trying to wrap up a lot of classic enemies of Ben 10, like Dr. Animo, Captain Nemesis, Darkstar, Charmcaster, people like that. They really tried to, and of course Vilgax. So that kind of pretty much, it was okay, but I felt it was a little rushed in a way. But Cartoon Network has put a lot of faith in Ben 10. That is their one of their cash cows. And Ben 10, no matter what, the ratings are always good for Ben 10. And I read a news site where they call Ben 10 they call Ben 10 the Jeremy Lin of Cartoon Network. I was like, oh shoot, okay, I don't know about that, but maybe. So the next incarnation of Ben 10 comes this fall, and it's called Ben 10 Omniverse, and it's still going to be created, by Man of Action, the group, considered of Dunstan DeLue, John Casey, Joe Kelly, and Steven T. Seagal, people like that. But it's going to be, the art concept is kind of, they said it's described as, and I quote, the concept art is described as an homage to the original Ben 10 series designed by Derek J. Watts, the same people behind the animated stuff like Transformers Animated, Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and the series will follow, as well as Young Teen Titans. The series, as I quote again, is to follow a 16-year-old Ben 10, bearing, the bearer of the Omnitrix, and however, it says as well, he's ready to become a solo hero. However, Ben 10's grandpa Max teams him up with an alien named Rook, a rookie and a by-the-book partner. As well as they say on a mission to explore secret alien cities. Ben explores the choir side of things in the alien underground. He's discovered that aliens from his past looking for rematches. So once again, we're probably going to see a lot of returning people. All the while, it says basically all the while Ben becomes targeted by a mysterious hunter. So and it says later he travels back in time to assist his 10-year-old self, and it's all supposed to bring 10 new aliens at Ben's disposal. So I'm gonna give it a try. As always, I'll see what this one does, but as always, I'll probably stick to doing an overall season review of it. But as it's supposed to come out in fall, and it's still gonna have Gwen and Kevin in there, but it looks. I seen a picture, image of it, a sneak preview of it, and it was okay. It looked okay, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. But overall, like I said, guys, overall season of Ben 10 Ultimate Alien, the 2 seasons it had, 52 episodes, was pretty decent. Very entertaining as well, but the second season kind of let me down a little bit. But I was glad that they did pay homage to Mr. McDuffie in the series finale. Other than that, guys, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If not, You know, give me your input. You know, guys, I love input. You guys take care.